All right. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. My name is Onum, and what we're doing here is we live stream every day, Monday through Friday, as we try to figure out how we can build ourselves a business which is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. So I am in the middle of completely redoing my office here. As you can see, everything is kind of changed around, and it's been very hectic. Lots of stuff has coming through the door with client stuff as well over just even the past 12 hours. So I've been very busy today, which is why we're starting a little bit later than usual. And unfortunately, I don't have time to go over the things that we said we were going to do yesterday, which of course is getting on into building our Webflow template for our kind of generic business services website. So I thought what I would do, however, is because I've been getting this question quite a bit over the past week or so, and that's people are just kind of asking me, like, what is it that you do and kind of what it is you're doing. So I figured it'd be kind of not a bad idea to just go over and give a quick 5-10 minute overview of what it is that I'm doing, so that, at least it's a video that I can kind of point people towards to say like, hey, just go check out this video, whatever. Maybe I'll cut this up and put it on the website or something like that. I'm not sure, but I figured I'd go over this right now just because, like I said, I've been kind of getting these questions, and it's always important for me to kind of remember that, not everybody has seen every single live stream. And so they might be coming at this being like, hey, I don't really know what's going on. So, let's just do that right now. Right. So anyways, I hope you're having a great day, great Friday, and ready to enjoy the weekend. Hope you had a great Halloween or whatever it is that you might be celebrating over the next day or two. I know lots of different places have lots of different things around this time. So just hope you're enjoying that time. And we are going to kind of just jump right in here. So I have a little bit of slides here to kind of go over, and it'll just help me just kind of articulate the things that I want to say here today. And of course, the whole thing is next year, I have a target, very specific. I want to reach that $250,000 in revenue. And I think that's doable. Again, like I said, last year we made $100,000 in revenue, just under 100,000. This year, we're not going to hit that because there've been it's been like a lot of R&D this year, a lot of building pixel pieces. So we're not going to get there this year, but by next year in 2025, I want to hit that $250,000. And then I think it'll be an easier step, even honestly, to get to the $1 million once we hit that 250,000 mark. So really looking forward to that. And that's kind of the blueprint that I want to hit. And well, actually, this is kind of the blueprint here. I should move myself out of the way here. So there we go. I'll just throw myself up here in the corner. Okay. So number one, the first and foremost thing, of course, is growing my creative agency. So I run Pixel Pieces, I should say Pixel Media, and I make websites and I manage websites for my clients. And I also have done a lot of AV work where I'll do videography work, where I'll go and do interviews and create kind of those talking head videos. And I've also done live events as well too. So lots of creative work in like a variety of different things. And I do need to figure out exactly what the service I'm going to offer, but I really want to get specific with doing things locally. And, Rolando, you've talked a lot about this and kind of steering me into this direction of getting really good at local SEO. So that way, when people type in Halifax or Nova Scotia web design or whatever the case may be, I want my agency to kind of show up so I can make those connections with people that are local. Of course, if people come in that are outside of Nova Scotia, of course, happy to work with anybody, but really trying to focus on where I am right now. So I do have a specific plan of what I want to do to get those types of customers. And the first one, we've been talking a lot about this, and this is why my whole office is changing around, is we're going to start a podcast. And that podcast, I want to just really have really cool conversations with really interesting people and people that are right here locally that are doing great work, starting their own business or running their own business or what have you. So I want to talk with local people, and I have here just a variety of different niches. There's a lot of stuff right now, of course, entrepreneurs and tech entrepreneurs developing the latest SaaS or whatever. But what about the other stuff too that people don't talk about? Where at the end of the day, the business skills still translate from whatever business you're trying to make. It's still kind of things still kind of resonate, right? So it'd be good to have more variety of talking to people that are doing a whole bunch of different things and just seeing how things kind of connect, because at the end of the day, sometimes, business is just business, right? So, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to outreach and connect with local business owners, and they're going to get to know who I am. Even if they don't want to come on the podcast, which is totally fair, they'll still know who I am, and they'll get that initial introduction to me as well too. So I'm going to be calculating and thinking about exactly how I'm going to tailor my initial outreach to people, and we'll show you guys that as well too. We'll probably do some of that stuff on the live stream as well, which I think will be really, really cool. And the second thing that's going to do is going to be able to provide me with a lot of social media content. So you have a podcast, 2-3 hours long. There's that video in itself, be able to cut that down into different segments. And then from that, then you can cut that down into a bunch of different short videos. So lots of different content that we're going to be able to gather from this, which is going to, again, just really help get the word out there with not only what I do, but also what the stuff that my guests are going to be doing as well too. So it's like, they're going to be able to promote their stuff. I'll be able to, I'm not even going to try to promote anything obviously on this podcast, but just that recognition as to who I am. So then the second thing I plan to do is start attending local networking events. I think I did 1 or 2 since I started my business, and it actually led into getting some contacts. So why I haven't done that more, I don't know. So I need to do that and kind of get myself out there. And again, really focusing on the local aspects of here in town. I mean, there's enough people here in town that need websites. So I'm sure I could get involved with people in the community and, get myself known, right? So we're going to work on that. And the third thing that I want to do, I still haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do this in person, but I want to get into teaching new business owners or even old business owners that aren't tech savvy, don't know much websites. Maybe don't have enough money to hire somebody full-time or whatever the case may be. Give them the tools that they need to be able to build and manage their own websites. So whether I could teach that online, if I could reach out to, I know there's stuff here in Nova Scotia and even all in Atlantic Canada where there's resources where people can take different courses and they offer these courses to business owners. So if I can get into that niche, I think that would be really, really fantastic. So looking forward to that and trying to see how I can kind of get my foot in the door through that. And again, there's a big theme here. It's all about like networking and making connections with people. That's my main kind of theme. So that's the main thing that I'm going to be working on. And the second thing, which is also, I don't know if I'll say this is a secondary thing, because the first one is really going to lead into the second one here, and that's growing Pixel Pieces, and that is, of course, our Webflow template and component library. So the templates are going to be really, really great, of course, for helping me get in contact and get in touch with small business owners and people that are wanting to know and how to make websites, especially if they don't have any money, they can get all those templates. But it's also going to help me really build websites much faster once I get a steady stream of clients coming in the door, which is fantastic. And of course, the idea here is to sell memberships to the library, because at the end of the day, for me, if I can get the transition, once we get close to, we make the $250,000 next year, there's a limit to how many different websites and how many clients I could bring on, right? So that's either going to mean having to hire other people to help with the design and development, or it could also mean what I really would like to move into is actually selling products as opposed to services, because once the product's made, right, I could sell it 1,000,000 times and then the money can just kind of keep coming in. So really looking forward to that. Rolando, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Let me see. Oh, I can't remember. How do I get these comments going? What's going on here? Let's see. Oh my goodness. Where are my comments here? There's got to be a screen here. Shoot, how do I get my comments going on? Where did they go? Sorry, hang on a second. Ninja. Here we go. All right. Sorry, I didn't have my chat thing open here, and the comment didn't come through. But anyways, Rolando, welcome. I guess I'll just read it out here. Point 3 is easy. Rent a room in a hotel, promote a course every 3 weeks for 3 hours where you teach how to create a landing page. Yeah, so you're talking about this point here. So rent a hotel? Yeah. So I'm sorry. I think this must be Friday because my mind went into the gutter because like rent a hotel room. That sounds a little cheesy. Am I paying by the half hour here? And yeah, every 3 hours I could show them. Anyways, yeah, definitely a mind in the gutter there. But I was thinking that too. There's even stuff at the library as well too. If you can host an event at the library and bring people in there and then show them how to, like you said, create a landing page or how to, like have a little marketing campaign and that like connect that, like how to capture leads, which is part of like a landing page. So yeah, 100%. There's lots of things to do, and like I really like that, and I think what I'm going to do is once I get to the point where I'm ready to do that, I'll be taking all those ideas and trying to figure out exactly what works, and then of course sharing with you guys what it is that I'm going to be doing and showing how it works. And it would be really, really cool to actually host a live event like that, and then bring in my gear or what have you, and actually live stream that whole thing. That would be really, really cool. So then it could be something that is local and like in person, but also people could attend virtually. That would be really, really cool. So I think this, here we go, comments. This is very common here in Monterey. They teach everything from how to do marketing on Facebook to how to make knitted jackets, and they sell well. That's interesting. So they just sell it where people just kind of come in and then they just go attend the course, like locally, like at a hotel or what have you. That's really, really cool. So not as common here in people just kind of selling something and just showing up at a conference room. That's not as common, but it is something that people do. It's mostly like you see that kind of stuff in kind of conferences or different events they're kind of just held by like larger organizations that are trying to eventually kind of get leads into their business, and they do that kind of by teaching, which is really cool. So yeah, really looking forward to that and seeing how things grow. And I'm very flexible too to see how things are going to happen. Like if the podcast starts and, every podcast we're going to have like 100, 200, 300, whatever pieces of content, and we start blasting that and the podcast just becomes really, really popular. And I find that I don't even have time to do that because we're just growing so much because the podcast is taking off, then that's great too. Right. So it's all about being flexible in what we can do. So I'm very excited. Let's just put it that way. So I feel like finally there's more clarity into what it is that we're going to be doing. Okay, so right, but leading into moving into making more money, selling products as opposed to services. So there's this live stream where I do talk about business. Like of course today is kind of like a more business oriented episode. But the majority of the live stream, I want to focus on Webflow and just doing things and teaching things on Webflow, whether that's making templates, building components, and just having maybe different tutorials or whatever, or just whatever the case may be, but just kind of really focusing on Webflow and yeah, just using that to let people know what it is that I do. And then of course, I think the people here that would be more engaged with watching that type of content would be more the people that would be more in line with wanting to try out Pixel Pieces as a product, a tool that they could use to help them in their website and in their agency, or their freelance business, what have you. Yeah, so in a hotel conference room, they charge a small fee for renting a room, and they have maybe 8 or 10 students at $100, and then the expenses around $200. Yeah, you have a little bit of expense for renting out the space, no doubt. But yeah, then having that, yeah, that's really cool. So I think there's two ways that we can go about this. Number one would be the private way, which is what you're saying. Just go out and rent a room and just network out, put it out there to try to get people, to buy or whatever, pre-sell, whatever the case may be, to get people to kind of buy. Or the second way would be to see what courses that, the Chamber of Commerce, and there's a couple other organizations as well too. I can't remember what their names are, but they actively have resources for small business owners to take classes for free that they pay. So I guess they get funded probably through a mix of the federal and the provincial government, our tax dollars at work, which does some good things. But I think they pay like $40,000 per class that you teach. And if I could get teaching a class or two, that would be like $80,000 that would be bringing in, that's extra. And then it's like 2 months of work kind of thing, where you have like one class a week at, 4 hours or something like that. And there's a few different things like that. So doing something like that, I think would be Obviously, making that cash would be really, really nice. And then, of course, you build the course, and then you have the course as well, too, which you can then repurpose, sell it online, all kinds of different things, right? So lots of different opportunities and things to do to try to teach. And then at the end of the day, I'm teaching and making those connections with people, too, which is really, really fantastic. Okay, so... but they are more expensive for the organizer, at least here in Monterey. The one who pays is the organizer because it is for self-promotion. Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. So if you are having to self-promote, you have to go out and pay all the necessary fees or whatever to rent out the space and maybe have food or drinks or whatever it is that you might want to have if there's a break or what have you. So if there's a way that I can do it where I have zero expenses whatsoever, and then the government or whatever it is, if I'm, teaching, that they actually bring in the students to me, that would be really, really cool. So there's different ways too. And maybe there's creating communities. There's a bunch of different ways where this could go into. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have a community where everyone's paying like the $10 a month, and then we come in once a week, and then there's like a lesson or whatever the case may be, and then people can interact. There's lots of different things. There's a recurring revenue. So lots of different avenues and different ways to go about this. So we've started creating daily content on social media, and you've got to figure out what makes the most sense in terms of like I learned, like most of my stuff should be in shorts as opposed to long form, like YouTube videos. They're not long form because they're still short, but posting out that type of content. We're going to keep going with that, keep posting that educational content that is really geared towards teaching people how to use Webflow. Because if you can teach people how to use Webflow and they get into it, they get more and more, they're going to start to see, like, hopefully the value in what a component library can do for them, which at the end of the day is speed up their workflow, help them make more money. That's kind of the message that we want to end up conveying eventually. And the third thing, which is something that I don't do, keep saying that I need to do this, and I know I need to do this, but engage in social media, right? Twitter, X, get in there, search hashtag Webflow, look at all the people that are talking about it, start following all the players that are in the space, and just putting my hat out into the conversation, just engaging and just being part of that conversation, right? And then launching on Product Hunt, getting involved in that as well too. So that's going to help put myself out there with the community of people that are interested in SaaS businesses. So I'm not sure exactly. Again, I don't know much about Product Hunt. I've never really seen it, but I know what it does. Obviously, it showcases people's products. But I think that's going to be a good thing to do. And once we finish with this template here next week or in a couple of weeks or however long it's going to take us to make this business template, and maybe even a second one after that, like this landing page template, then we're going to do a lot of work within our own components to use our components to build the templates, but also to make those components as good as they can be. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to make sure that the syntax and they're all HTML valid, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to fix that up, clean everything up. And then once we feel like our product is really, really kind of polished, to be able to promote on Product Hunt, it's polished enough that I think people can go ahead and obviously they can go ahead and buy it right now and be happy with it. But we can take it to the next level. And then once it's at that really kind of more polished state, then we can figure out how we can launch it on Product Hunt. And there's just one final thing here, which is the third thing. This isn't something that I'm thinking about or that is part of my strategy at all, but it's something that I think is just going to happen organically. And it's just something to consider. And it's just growing this YouTube channel and what opportunities might come through that. So obviously, if I get big enough, I could get to the, what is it like? I think it's 1,000 subscribers and like 4,000 watch hours. Then you could get monetized. I hate YouTube ads. I use ad blocker. I would tell every single person that uses my website that goes on YouTube to use ad blocker. But I think what YouTube does is they run ads on your videos, regardless of whether you opt in or not. So might as well like turn it on anyways and try to get some ad revenue through that. So that is, yes, Pizza Party. I didn't even mention that as Pizza Friday. It is Pizza Friday. Kevin, how's it going? Welcome. Absolutely, Pizza Friday today. Looking forward to that. And it's after the kids have all their candy as well too. So Pizza Friday plus candy. Right. So, eventually the YouTube channel is going to get monetized, make some money through that. But again, how much is it going to make? Probably next to nothing at this stage of the game. But if we keep growing, we keep doing this live stream, we keep doing the educational content, and more people, the podcast is going to be on this channel. We get that growth. There's going to be opportunities that can come with that, right? Especially if we can really get a good niche kind of types of people that are like the audience is really interested in business and entrepreneurship and all that kind of stuff. So there could be opportunities for affiliate revenue. Like even for now, I don't make any money through affiliates. I think I made a couple bucks actually. I think I had like one sale through Fathom. But anyways, I think there's only two things that I do affiliates for, Webflow and Fathom Analytics. But there could be opportunities in the future to promote things that make sense. And there could be sponsorships as well too. People talk about that, but the real thing that I want to make totally clear to you guys, and what's so important to me, is what I'm trying to build and the type of audience that I want to build. Like it's 100% built on trust. And that's literally the only priority thing for me. So like, obviously if Webflow came knocking on the door and said, hey, we'll sponsor your channel, it'd be like, that would make sense because I'm promoting Webflow and I like Webflow, and that would be a perfect fit. So that would be a good sponsorship deal. But if WordPress comes knock on the door and says, hey, we'll pay you whatever money to promote WordPress, I'll be like, I'm not a WordPress channel. That's not cool for me. I'm not going to do that because that's going to completely throw out any integrity that I have, right? So I'm not just going to do any of that for money. So I just put this as a bonus opportunity because I'm sure things are going to happen, but it's to understand that I just need to be really, really careful with what ends up happening, because no amount of money is going to, I'm not going to betray the trust of you guys, right? Of the audience, because that's like when I'm giving my opinion on something, it's because that's just what my opinion is. That's it's unbiased and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's where I'm at, and that is pretty much it in terms of the plan to get to $250,000 next year. So really, really looking forward to it. So number one really is local, the local SEO and reaching out to local business owners, starting the podcast, and working on building websites for local communities or local businesses. And then slowly but surely getting more and more people involved with Pixel Pieces and growing that. And then, hopefully by 2026, that'll kind of snowball where I'll make more money through Pixel Pieces than I am through the agency. And then we could transition from there. Or maybe I just hire more people to come on board and work at Pixel and, keep going there. So we'll see how things go, but that's the plan. I'm really excited about the plan. And I think a lot of this has come from you guys really helping me talk through things, work through things, and just really kind of figure out what direction makes the most sense. So I really owe you guys like a really good like a debt of gratitude. So I just thank you for all the help and helping me point me in these directions, because I don't know if I would have came here on my own. So I really do appreciate that. And so I just want to talk maybe real quick. I don't know if you guys care or not, but about the podcast. So it's going to be in this office here. Now I'm just going to move over. So this is how everything's all super messy. But this is going to be the table. And then there's going to be two sides, or obviously there's going to be two chairs here. Figure out where the cameras are going to go, but it's all going to be in here. And on the back wall there, I'm going to put a TV up on there, so that way if there's anything that we're talking about that we want to bring up on screen, whether it's about businesses or design or who knows what, that can go up there. And then we'll have to figure out on the walls to make kind of any kind of cool I don't know, just like decoration, so we can see, because there's going to be 3 cameras. There'll be this camera here that's facing there, and then there'll be a camera over here, and then a camera over here just pointing to the different people. So looking forward to that. And what I've done over the past 2 years, I've taken a small percentage of all the money that I've made. Just rolling over a cable. So I've taken a small percentage of all the money that I've made, and I've kind of put it into a like a research and development account. So basically I have $5,000 that I have earmarked away to spend on like updating this office for a podcast. So not to say that I'm going to spend $5,000 on all kinds of stuff, but that's kind of the budget, which is kind of a healthy budget. So it's going to be fun putting this thing together, which is going to happen sooner rather than later. So, application is great for tracking podcast guests and contents. That's right. Notion is great for everything. So, yeah, I haven't thought about tracking guests, but actually you might not like this, but I started with my wife putting together lists of, we started this quite a while ago, a list of different people that we want to have on our podcast, and putting their contact information, whatever. And we used Airtable. So, it's not Notion. So don't hate us for that. I don't know if we'll switch or not, into Notion, but it could definitely work for sure. Silly question. According to your channel analytics, where are the people who watch your content from? What country? Hang on, I'll bring that up in a second. If you ever want to do an offline or online call walking through some basics of Notion, I'd be happy to. Oh, I appreciate that. That's awesome. I definitely might take you up on that. I'm going to do a little bit more work on Notion, especially with content planning over the next week or so. And yeah, and if I still have any questions or whatever, and if I see if I can make it work for me, and then I just kind of want to know more. And I'll definitely take you up on that. Maybe it would be really cool, Kevin, if would you be like even willing to come on stream live, and then we can just do like a live tutorial kind of thing, and we'd say, I'll just be like, hey Kevin, okay, today what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a Notion, what is it called, like a board? I don't even know what it's called, and yeah, I don't know, I'll just build it, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Okay, all right. Let me think on that, because we haven't actually done that. So that would be really, really cool. So yeah, that's cool. I like that. So you have support. It's up to you to accept it or not. Yeah, no, absolutely. This is the whole point. I love it. I love the support, guys. This is awesome. Yes, get Kevin on stream. Okay, all right. Well, we'll make it happen. All right, I'll be in touch. Cool. Right on. So does that mean we have to use Notion? So I guess if we're talking, I can't just shit on Notion the whole time, eh? Be like, this is stupid. Why are we doing this? I'll be on my best behavior. My favorite personal use of Notion, tracking paint I've used around my house. That's actually really good. I had that too. I had to figure out the color of the wall, and I had to get more stuff. And I just remembered that like a year ago, I had took a picture of what the stupid number was, the hex code on the paint can. That's really cool. By the way, Sam, welcome to the stream. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Kevin, ask him for first class tickets at a 5-star hotel. Well, yes. Yeah, but fun fact is Rolando and I, we just struck a deal. So he's going to handle all the financial stuff for the back end of Pixel. So send the invoice to Rolando. He's the one who's going to pay for it. Or just take your expenses there. Right. Okay, Rolando, the question. Yeah, okay, you're asking about, again, let me bring it up here. We'll bring up our analytics. And I think I could bring it up here. Hang on. YouTube Studio. Okay. So, knowledge costs. Yeah. Nothing in this world is free. Okay. So what do we want to see here? It's okay to share analytics, eh? I don't think it's one of those things where you're not allowed to share things anymore. Okay. So I guess we want to see audience, right? And we want to see, yeah, geographic areas. Let's go for the past 365 days. So can you see this? Okay. So United States, like people from all over, which is really, really cool. United States, India, Poland, Bangladesh, France, Russia, Indonesia, UK, Germany. So yeah, all over the place um, in terms of where people are coming from. So, which is really, really cool. And there's you, Rolando, all the way down here. um, yes, we're already setting up the company in Andorra to avoid the unwanted gaze of the Treasury Secretary and the launderer, and to launder money. Oh yes, well, laundering money. I just remembered that movie Office Space when those guys are trying to figure out how to launder money. I just thought it was hilarious. How do we channel money through an intermediary? How do I do this? Anyway, so I hope this answers your question, Rolando, at least in terms of kind of where people are coming from. So, yeah. Shout out to everyone, whoever is from many of these countries. This is really, really cool. All right. So, what? Can I? Hang on, everything's all... Right, cool. Right on. Getting close to 600 subscribers, which is really cool. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed. I really, really appreciate that. All right. So I think, what do you guys think of this angle though? Is this camera okay? Like I think it's a little bit higher than it was before. I might need to play around with things a little bit more, but it might be a little bit more interesting to see some stuff in the background here. But yeah, so that's it for me for today. Let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions or any comments or thinking that I'm crazy or whatever the case may be in terms of my plan to make $250,000 in revenue next year, or profit would be nice too. We can go for that. Do let me know. Okay, first guest, fishing business lawyer. You are in a fishing area and I want to talk about how to create low-cost company in your area. You know, like I don't know if you're serious or if you're just poking fun, but I mean, we are a fisher town, right? I mean, we're right on the coast, right? So there's a lot of people here that are in the fishing industry, like a lot of people. So we can definitely get some people. I don't know anybody offhand, like through first connections, like people I know, but I know people that know people. So we can definitely get some people that are fishermen on what do we say on the podcast? It would be really, really cool because obviously if we're doing like East Coast and Nova Scotia stuff as well too, I think that's going to be a pretty good, some pretty good guests to have on our podcast for sure. So it's okay. It is a serious question. Yeah, there are many fishing companies in the U.S. that are looking to save money on taxes. Yeah, so if you're in the United States and you want to save money on taxes, don't come to Canada. Canada is like one of the worst places in the world for taxes. Like, it's insane. Like, don't come to Canada if you want to save on taxes. It's not going to happen. it's horrible. That being said, I'm not very familiar with crazy corporate tax structures and international workings and all that kind of stuff. So don't take my word for it on that kind of stuff because I don't know much about that. I know about personal income tax. I know about at least my individual corporate tax, and that stuff is really high. So like it's not, Canada is not the place to come if you want to save on taxes or have a low cost of living or have warm weather where it's not snowing or below or above 0 degrees Celsius. Like, don't come to Canada if you don't like any of that stuff. So anyways, that's funny. Okay. Yeah. So fishing guests. Yeah, definitely we'll get some guys on that are in the fishing industry because that makes sense too. And a lot of people in the science industry and all the research that's going on in new technologies that they're developing, some really, really cool stuff. And some really cool businesses that I remember talking to as well too when I was working at Dalhousie and seeing all the new innovation that was going on there. So some really cool stuff and some really cool people to talk to. So looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. I don't know exactly when that's going to be ready, but we'll get this office set up. We'll get the studio set up, and yeah, we'll go from there. Well, I like dating women. Women are great almost no matter where they are. Yeah, women are great. I'll second that, but also the right kind of women. So you just got to watch out for the crazy ones. So other than the crazy ones, we're okay. And I think I'm okay to say this because if we look here, Sorry to my 3.7% of the listeners that are female. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. But you know, I'm just like guys. There's crazy guys out there as well too. So I mean, I guess I could say it both ways. Obviously, there's just crazy people. But yeah. But that's actually really kind of crazy. I never even knew I had like 3.7% because it always came up as like 100% female or 100% male as like my audience, which is kind of crazy. And they're on here and they're watching it for a lot longer, like twice as long as men. That's interesting. That is interesting. Thank you to the ladies out there watching my content. I appreciate that. We should dive a little bit more into the statistics to see kind of what exactly is going on and see if there's anything I can do about it. But I don't know. We'll just keep on keeping on. All right, Pizza Friday today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. And Rolando, Kevin, Sam, always great to see you guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy any time with your kids, family, just outside, moving around, whatever the case may be. Enjoy. And as always, I'll be back here again with a brand. Oh, wait, hang on a second. One last comment. Ronald's coming in. Change the thumbnails. Make them less dark. Maybe that'll help you get more female audiences. Yeah, there's a few things I could probably do in the thumbnail to get more female audiences. But they might bail pretty quickly if they realize I'm not delivering the goods. Yeah, okay. I should stop talking now. Delivering the goods. Yeah, all right, Sam. Yeah, oh, look at the emoji. It's so small. I got to figure out how why that doesn't show up in the right font size. That's strange. All right, guys. I'm rambling now. We're away from business. It's definitely Friday. Have a great weekend. And, of course, we'll see you here, I was going to say tomorrow, on Monday for a new live stream. All right, guys. Take care.